Hi knitters, welcome to episode 82 of the Knitty McPurly podcast. I am Devin Ventry. You can find me online at knittymcpurly.com. I am Knitty McPurly over on Instagram, and you can email me at devin@knittymcpurly.com. Yay, it's Friday! Woo woo! Happy Friday, everybody. I missed the podcast last week, so today I have double the enthusiasm. Yay! Last week I had a big shop update on Saturday. Thank you so much to those of you who shopped it. Almost everything sold. There are a few things left, which I will talk about when we get to that. Swim team has started here, which we have never done before. My two older girls were such that they never really wanted to do anything like that, so we never did. But my two younger ones are like all gung-ho for it. So swim practice is like sometimes twice a day. It's awesome though. They love it. It wears them out. It's a little tiring for mom. This is my fourth cup of coffee today. But it is really great. I really like it. It's a great community. Also, I saw the Top Gun movie. I never go to the movies. I love the movies, but I almost never go. Saw Top Gun. It exceeded the hype. Like the hype was, it's amazing. It's better than you think it's going to be. It was amazing. It was better than I thought it would be. It exceeded the hype. If you haven't seen it yet, turn this video off right now and go watch it. It was super, super good. Okay, also the retreat payment, the second payment was due a few days ago. I think today is, what's today? The 3rd, I think? Yeah, today's June 3rd. Second payment was due a few days ago, and I have received almost everyone's second payment. A couple of you I have not heard from, and I've not received your payment, so tell me what's up. You know, I'm definitely holding on to your spot for you, not gonna give it away, but let me know what your plan is. If you are still planning to come, and if you just need a little bit more time, that's fine, no big deal. But those of you who paid promptly, thank you so much. I appreciate that. I am gonna be sending Lake Junaluska our payment for all the stuff here in a couple weeks. So it'll be nice to have that done. And it's just one more thing for the retreat. If you're new, I'm hosting a knitting retreat in North Carolina this January. And it's just gonna be super fun. It's all volunteer based. There will be no famous knitters. It's just a bunch of people who wanna get together in a beautiful place in January, which is kind of a crummy month in terms of the fact that it's still cold. You're kind of over it being cold and it's not Christmas anymore. So it's just gonna be really fun. So there is a wait list. And right now, I think at my last checking, I have 29 people on the wait list, but people are coming off of the wait list. Like I have had a couple people cancel, and I go to the next person on the wait list. They are ranked in order of who signed up first. And so I'm currently in the process of seeing who, and I'll send you an email and say, are you still interested? Because a spot has opened up. If I don't hear back from you within a couple days, though, I am going to go to the next person on the wait list. Some people signed up for the wait list and did not leave me any contact information. That will not work. If I can't email you is my favorite, but I will text you if you leave me your text number and say, hi, this is Devin. Or do you still want this spot? So leave me your email so that I can get in touch with you, but go sign up for the wait list. It doesn't cost anything to do that. You're just basically on my list, and when a spot comes up, I will let you know. So what else? If you cancel, so people signed up with a $100 non-refundable deposit, but if you cancel and I can get someone easily to take your spot, I am just charging a $25 fee for that, and I can refund you your other $75. Okay, I think I do need to have a date though, where it's like, if I don't get your second payment by such and such date, I was thinking like June 15th, without you contacting me. Like if you contact me and say, I need until this date, that's fine. But if I don't hear back from you at all by June 15th, you will forfeit your spot, and I'll just go to the next person on the wait list. This part is not my favorite part, the part where there's money involved and some people can go and some people can't go, and that always makes me a little sad. I don't like that. I want everyone to come. But there are so many fun parts to it. Like, I've been doing some fun things that are surprises that are going to be in the swag bags, and it's just going to be really fun, that part of it anyway. So anyway, it's a good time to get on the wait list if you are not already and you want to come. So when you go to that part of my website, like if you just go to my website and scroll down, there's a thing that says retreat wait list. And if you click on it, it has all the details of when it is and where it is and what that payment covers, because payments are, you have to pay for your own hotel room, your own travel, and then what you're paying for with the hotel is the room rentals and insurance and boring stuff and food and things like that. So that's a lot of information about the retreat that maybe you already knew. But I do get new people, so if you didn't know, and people say, what retreat? What's this? So that's what that is. Okay, progress and shop news. Hold on, I have a baby sweater. I'm gonna go get it. That didn't take any time at all, did it? Isn't that amazing? I'm all like out of breath from running up the stairs, and you're like, that was like 1 second. So, okay. So this is my Black Forest Cake colorway, which is one of my new permanent colors. A lot of you really like this. And many of you corrected me that it is German chocolate cake that has coconut, and Black Forest Cake has whipped cream and cherries. But the Black Forest is in Germany, so I will never remember that. I might have just said it wrong just now, and I don't know or care. If you love trivia and you want to correct me, that's totally fine. I love it because I won't remember it anyway. So this color is a greeny black. It does have some light spots in it. So I made a Milo vest, and this beautiful light is gonna let you see all of kind of the variation in that yarn. And I did the regular Aran braid. If you are familiar with this pattern, it comes with a bunch of different cables you can do. This is for my friend's baby, whose name is Luke. He was just born. And I did the 3-month size in a worsted weight yarn. So this pattern calls for DK weight. I did it in a worsted weight. So I think this will fit him probably this fall and winter. You never know though. Some of these adorable little babies chunk up so fast. It's so cute. So that's that. You can kind of see how that color knits up. I think it's fabulous. But I was thinking, I have a little bit left. I was thinking of making an everywhere hat in, it's funny, this is my pattern. I can't even remember. Does it have a baby size? Ugh. How bad is it that I can't even remember if it has a baby size? I feel like it does. I feel like it has a baby size and a toddler size. It has, I don't know, I can't remember. How could I be expected to remember these things? I only wrote the pattern. It was years ago. So anyway, once again, I'm going to disobey the pattern because the everywhere hat calls for Aran weight, which is a little bit bigger than worsted, although these words are sometimes used interchangeably, as we discussed before. But that's fine, whatever. Any small hat will be adorable to go with this little cute vest. So I want to say that's what I've been working on, but I really have not done a lot of knitting other than that. And that's in the past 2 weeks, I'd knit that one baby sweater, which, because you're knitters, that's not very much knitting. Other people be like, what? You knit a whole baby sweater or a whole baby vest in 2 weeks? Oh my gosh. But of course we know that's nothing. We could have done way more than that. But I've been really busy with things like the advent calendars, which by the way are on sale on my website. Order it now. And then in October, you're gonna get a beautiful package in the mail with little gifts in it to open all throughout Advent, and a mystery knit along to join in with the whole group, and it's gonna be great fun. If you have not already gotten a Knitty McPurly Advent calendar, go and get one. They are so fun. I made a lot, so there are some left. Okay. after the shop update, I do have a couple skeins left, probably because it is summertime. The super bulky colors, the super bulky weight yarn is what I have the most of left. Super bulky, now in my humble opinion, I see these as a hat. I see the hat in my mind. And I think I might just have to knit one, because how long would it take to knit a hat in super bulky? I mean, what, 3 hours, 4 hours tops? And I'm imagining these two colors together. This is the new color called Bougie and Black Forest Cake. And I just think they look so good together. Yeah, so I might hold one skein of each of these back and whip up a hat that might have to be a free pattern. That's kind of been in my mind. It rolls around in there for a little while before it settles down, and it's settling right now. As we speak, this idea is settling. But I love super bulky for a hat because I love a good thick hat. I've knit a couple of fingering weight hats or even DK, and I just think they are too thin to be a hat. It's like your head needs more fluff on top of it. It needs to be poofier. It just, I don't know. And you know, if it were slouchier, I think it would work better as a fingering weight or a DK weight, any hat, if it were slouchier. But a tight fitting fingering or DK weight hat is just not chunky enough for me. I like a big fat hat. So keep an eye out for that. I feel like that's one of those things that could happen like that. And there it would be. Okay, so there's still a few skeins of that left. There's a couple skeins. I didn't feel like this photographed super well. This is the Munich Mohair in the Black Forest Cake colorway, and I think it looks really great here. You really can see a lot of the variations. This is just so pretty. And every fiber takes the dye a little bit differently. And I feel like, and honestly, this happened with this one too, where I feel like it really broke it up. I like for my colors to be a mix of 3 or 4 colors, usually 3 or 4 different dyes. And it's really cool when it breaks it apart. Like the dyeing process breaks the dye apart and it takes differently. And I'll notice that as they're dyeing, where, you know, it will suck up a certain color early on and then another color kind of midway, and it won't be till the end that it sucks up that third color. And I don't even necessarily mean that third dye, but even within the dye, there are different colors. So it's just neat to lift up the yarn midway through and see in the water a color you didn't expect to see, and it's just because that's what it hasn't sucked up yet. And it's just awesome the way it looks so variegated. You can really see it here. That is just fabulous. I love that. This is all naturally occurring. You can manipulate, and I'm going to talk about this in my topic of the week. You can manipulate the dye process to force that to happen, to make the yarn take a dye, like in a speckle, for example, where you want the dye to stay in one place and not move around. But that's not what happened here. This is just the way that it took it on its own. It did that. I love it. So now I won't be able to repeat this, I'm sure. Oh yeah, look at that. What do you know? Anyway, there's some skeins left in the shop if you're interested in that. There's a couple different bases that have the Meadow colorway, which is a gorgeous bright green. I have that on that silk, and there are a few skeins left in Frankfurt fingering, I think, which is great for socks or, you know, any fingering weight project. I kind of feel like if it's good for socks, it's going to be good for any fingering weight project, because socks are like the thing that you're the hardest on. So if it can take that, it can take any fingering weight project. The silk, I don't know. I've never seen silk socks, but maybe. Silk has less give in it, kind of like cotton or bamboo or tencel or any of those plant fibers. Silk is an animal fiber, but it mimics a lot of those plant fibers in that it feels similar and it doesn't give like wool does or alpaca or the other animal fibers, which kind of makes sense because it's spun from a worm rather than, you know, grown on an animal. Makes sense that they would have different qualities. Also, stitch marker necklaces are in stock. I am wearing Odette. What I really like about this one is that it has both the silver and the gold tone chain. It's like a double chain. That's really pretty. It's kind of stitch marker necklace season because we're not really in cowl or shawl or sweater season. In fact, I am wearing this. It's like a quasi sweater. You know, this is an older sweater from Loft. She has thwarted my system. Come say hi, Shar. You are a weirdo. I haven't even blooped this. You're like right in the middle.
Yeah, I just stuffed this down my pants to hold it.
You are a weirdo. Weirdo. Take your cute self and beat it on out of here. I love
can
you.
I show them my headband?
Can I stop you?
No.
Okay.
Every video.
I haven't even blooped
We got this at
the dollar store.
Yeah. Well, Dollar Tree.
Dollar Tree.
Basically the same.
Basically the same.
So they are the same.
Okay.
So this is pink and it's fluffy, and then it also has 10 pearls, I think. See, 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, 10 pearls.
Charlotte, you're my favorite 7-year-old
by the way.
on this earth. Okay. Also, I have new Made in the USA packaging. So I've kind of rebranded a few of my, rebranded? Is that the right word? I feel like that's a trendy word. I don't know. I'm repackaging some of the products that I've had for a while, and they look amazing. So my thought was that I would do a couple of YouTube shorts. I've never done these before, but my husband was showing me what they are. So I guess if you click on YouTube on like the sidebar, there's a button that says shorts, and you can scroll through like the people who you follow on YouTube. So I'm going to have a couple shorts in there, I guess, and I'll have them on my website. And if you are signed up for my newsletter, you will find out about these products when they come out. Hopefully within the next week or so, I might kind of release them one at a time. We'll see how it goes. But anyway, I have new Made in the USA packaging, and that was the impetus behind this change. I want as much of my shop to be made in the USA as possible, not just the products themselves, but also the packaging. This year for the Advent calendar, and the Advent calendar is a very, very big project. And I have the packaging delivered to my house on like a pallet. That's how much packaging goes into the Advent calendar. Not only is it completely recyclable packaging, but also this year it is all made in the US. So I'm very happy about that. A lot of these products are products that I have had, but am just repackaging once again with the Made in the USA packaging. So I'm almost to the point where I can say like everything in my shop is made in the US. It is a difficult process, as I'm sure you know because you shop places, that it's hard to find anything that's made in the US because we've just outsourced so much of our manufacturing over the past however long, I don't know. But you know, we're trying to bring it back. I feel like there's a lot of people visibly trying to bring manufacturing back, and I just really want to support that. So I was talking to my kids because I took my 9-year-old and my 12-year-old to go see the Top Gun movie. Just a brief aside. If you've seen the first one, I would not let either one of those kids watch the first one because of the language and the innuendo and the sex, those 3 things mainly. But I read about the new one and I thought that it would be okay. I recommend that all 9-year-old boys go see this movie. The only caveat that I have is there is a little bit of language. They say the S word a lot. They drop the F-bomb once. But I feel that the values that are portrayed in this movie are worth a little bit of language. That doesn't really bother me all that much. There is one sex scene that is probably the tamest sex scene I have ever seen in a movie. I mean, you could have put it in a movie from the 50s. It was that tame. So I didn't even cover anyone's eyes. I didn't have to. So, and I read about it ahead of time knowing that. But what I'm getting at regarding the Made in the USA topic is I was telling my kids how everyone should be proud of their country. Like, we're Americans and we should be all about that. Like, we should be super excited and super proud of our country. And if you're from France, that's how you should feel about your country. And if you're from Germany, and if you're from New Zealand, and if you're from Zimbabwe, I hope that you have that same patriotism, because that's a moral good, is to have that feeling of love for your own country. And it doesn't necessarily mean that you don't like other countries. I do have some stuff from Canada in my shop, which I'm just as proud of, because I think Canada is also a great country. It's not my country, so I don't feel about it the same way. But I think the people who live there do, and I think the people who are the makers feel that way. So, not that it's ever come up, but I hope you understand that I don't mean my country's better than your country. I mean, I just don't. I feel like we should all feel patriotic toward our own country. And my kids, I feel like that resonated with them. So anyway, along those lines, Rocky ate a packing peanut. This is real time, folks. You can't make this stuff up. He'll be fine. Okay, so with regard to the new packaging, I will also have a restock of Knitter's Hand Balm in the Peony scent. I know so many people like it and have been asking me. It's been out of stock for a hot second, and everyone's like, where is it? I need it. Where are you gonna have more? Yes, I am gonna have more. I'll have the peony scent through at least the middle of the summer, and then I'll probably go into a more fall-based scent. But my labels came today. That was the main thing that I was waiting on. And like I said, the new packaging. So I also have wool wash coming. Very excited. The test for the wool wash, I had a bunch of beta testers. And interestingly, they all said pretty much the same thing. One of the things that they all wanted more of was smell. Not all of them. I did have one smell sensitive person who felt that it was a good amount of smell. But I kind of agreed with the people who like more. And you know, one thing is, if you are a smell sensitive person, you can just dilute it a little bit, and that will hopefully take care of that problem, I would imagine. The wool wash that's coming out is also in peony. The Amelia needle case is out of stock right now. I just sold the last one. I get that from a small shop in Tennessee, and they have been out of stock for a little bit. Those are also made in the US. But as soon as I get those in, I will let you know, and I will have a new color. Also, I have scissor sleeves coming from Jennifer Yun. I have a couple more in the ochre. I can't remember how many I ordered. She remembers, but I don't. And I also have a new color for the summer. So those are coming. I am nearly to the end. So, Murdog merch. I have Murdog stickers back in stock. A lot of people will wait until they have like a larger order to tack a sticker onto, because it's only $2 for a sticker, but I have a standard shipping cost of $6, which is a little ridiculous. You know, if all you want is a sticker, you don't need to pay $6 for shipping. So if you buy a sticker or a couple of stickers and you don't want, hold on. If you just want to buy stickers, go ahead and order it. And in the order where it says you can leave me like a little comment, just type in, can you refund me the extra shipping? And I will, because I can send stickers in an envelope. You know, that's very easy to do. And then that costs me the price, depending on how many you order, that costs me the price of a stamp or two. So I can just refund you the rest. That's very easy to do. So if you want to do that, you can do that. There are also Murdog cards in the shop that are on sale for $8 for a pack. So yes. Okay. So I have this new book from Noragon, the Twisted Stitch source book, which I'm going to save for next week because another topic came up among my wool wash testers that I wanted to talk about this week. I personally find this to be a really interesting topic. When I sent the wool wash to the testers, I said, let me know what you think of the wash itself, the packaging and the label, because all of that, I can change as I like. So a couple people said, I like to follow directions. I want to know exactly how to use something. So in my directions, I think it said to use a tablespoon of the wash. And two of my testers said, well, how much water should we use? And that's a totally legit question. To kind of give a little backstory, I'm going to tell a little story about my beginning to dye, when I started dyeing yarn, when I was beginning. I had that exact question. I was like, okay, I'm putting in this much dye, but how much water? Like, I need to know. I can't. And as I was learning, I was watching a lot of videos, I was reading books, I was reading articles on the internet, trying to figure out where to start, because like any art form, like almost anything, when you get into something, you learn by doing it, but you need to have some kind of a starting place. So I just did not understand how I was supposed to dye anything when I didn't have any directions on how much dye per how much water. And there are people online, I can't remember the name of the YouTube lady, but she's extremely scientific. And I am way more right-brained. I'm the artist rather than the scientist. And so, I would put on my best thinking cap and try to figure out her explanation of how to do the dye and the water. And here is what I learned. All I really learned from her and others was try it and see what happens, like I got a few like jumping off place ideas, but once I got into it, here's what I learned. Water in dyeing and in washing is just a carrier. It is a spreader outer of those things, of dye or wash. So I was thinking a good way to imagine it, and I'll explain it with dye first, and it also applies to wash. If I have a big pan and I have 1 inch of water, and I have another big pan and I have 6 inches of water, and I put in, let's say, 1 gram of dye into each, I'm going to have, obviously, a more concentrated space in which to dye. It doesn't change, and let's say I'm going to put 1 skein of yarn into each pot. We still have the exact same ratio of 1 skein of yarn to 1 gram of dye in each pot. The water does not change that, okay? The ratio is still the same. What the water does is it gives more space for dyeing. So let's say I wanted the yarn to use a smaller amount of water because, and there is more than one way to manipulate it. When to heat and the dye and adding, I'm feeling a little Bill Cosby, the heat and the dye and the, these things will change the way the yarn takes the dye, but it does not change the ratio. You're still 1 gram of yarn to 1 gram of dye to 1 skein of yarn. Does that make sense? Did that help at all? I hope it did. I hope that made sense. So the amount of water that you use with soap is really only relevant in how much dilution you want. I guess they are slightly different. With dye, you're talking about increasing your dyeing space, which is going to change where the dye sticks. Whereas with soap, it is an actual dilution. You are not diluting dye. You're just changing the way it attaches permanently to the yarn. There we go. I got it. Success, first try. Oh gosh. Okay, that brings me to the word of the week, which is soap. Let's talk about soap because that's what this is. My wool wash is a no rinse wool wash, by the way. It is one that you just soak it in, similar to the twig and horn wash, also like the Eucalan or the soak, but those have a foaming agent in them, which is not necessary for cleaning, but it does kind of give you that feeling of like you're cleaning it. It's one of those additives that if you leave out, you don't lose any of the cleaning power. But, that is different in your experience. This wash does not have any suds in it. So anyway, the word soap comes from the Old English sape or sape for feeling kind of Latin, S-A-P-E, which means soap or salve, which was originally a reddish hair dye used by Germanic warriors to give a frightening appearance. Frightening appearance or experience, probably both. That's my guess. Which is from the Proto-Germanic sapion, S-A-P-on, S-A-I, sapon, whatever, which means dripping thing or resin, which is a source also of the Middle Low German, sepe, S-E-P-E, West Phrygian, Dutch, Old High German, German, Old German, all of these things meaning foam or soap or to drip, etc. Perhaps also the source is from Latin, the Latin sebum, which is a tallow, suet, or grease. Because it was greasy, something that is oily is especially good to use as a surfactant. And I know that from the Magic School Bus. How many of you have seen that Magic School Bus episode where Dolly Parton plays like, I think she's a rock star or a country music star. That's not very far-fetched. But she and Lily Tomlin were in a lot of things together, back in the day, back in the kind of 9-to-5 era. And she wants her car washed by the kids. And so they shrink the Magic School Bus and they are able to see how the soap acts as a surfactant to get the dirt off of the car. I learned so much from the Magic School Bus as the teacher, not as the kid. But Romans and Greeks used oil to clean the skin. The Roman word for soap, Italian sapone, French savon, Spanish jabon, are from the late Latin sapo, which is a pomade for coloring the hair. Interesting. Cool. But basically, soap does have oil in it because that oil works well as a surfactant to get the dirt off. All right, moving right along to your favorite segment and mine, knitting fantasies. So I did look on Ravelry. I do look there every now and then. Some people ask me, this is a side note, but some people ask me if my Murdog was a take on or a shot at or any reference to the Ravelry Boston Terrier. I forget the dog's name, but this dog was owned by the husband and wife couple who started Ravelry. They had a Boston Terrier. And he was the little mascot for a long time. They had an adorable little, and he might still be, I don't know. They had an adorable little picture of him that would, pop up when you had a message or whatever. And it's totally not. My Boston Terrier is totally separate. I also have a Boston Terrier who is blind named Rocky. And he is the inspiration behind my Murdog. Anyway, I looked on Ravelry. And I just kind of scanned through the page 1 of patterns, which is the most popular patterns right now. And a lot of times you see a lot of patterns by people you've never heard of, but who are offering a free pattern, or they have a knit along or whatever. They have some small following like I do, and they have made it to the first page. This time it was all of the big names. Caitlin Hunter was on there a few times. There were a few others that just big names. One that drew my attention is called the Rumble Raglan. I really liked this picture that is the main picture. I like what this lady's wearing. I just liked it. I just thought she looked really cool. So I opened it up just to take a look at it. It's got some brioche. And if you scroll through the pictures, there's a lot of really, really pretty ones. Actually, there's only one other sweater that's pictured on that front page, but it's really pretty. Now, the thing that stopped me in my tracks was that this pattern sells for 15 British pounds, which translated to English dollars, I haven't looked at the exchange rate lately, but that's probably about 25 bucks for a knitting pattern. I mean, it would be nice if we could charge 15 British pounds or $25 for a knitting pattern, because people could make more money as knitting designers, but I wouldn't pay that. Would you? I guess maybe they're trying to turn that trend that way. I don't know. I wonder what makes it worth that. If anyone has any thoughts, it is in English. It is a fingering weight pattern, and it has 9 sizes, which feels to me like a nice $7 or maybe $8 pattern, not a $25 pattern. But whatever, if you can get it, go for it. More power to you, Lydia Morrow. Okay, so the second pattern that I picked from Ravelry was another one that I don't know. Well, this first one I knew how to get to, but I was definitely not willing to pay $25 for the pattern. This next one is adorable, and it's by Sarah Shira, who I'm pretty sure is the lady who does all the gnomes. She has a bunch of different gnome patterns, and they are just so cute. I mean, just adorable. She says, this one is called Gnedward of Grimblewood, and it's just this super cute little gnome. I mean, oh my gosh, he's so cute. You just want to knit 10 of them. And this is in a fingering weight yarn also. Now this one, it says the Grimblewood collection is a Jimmy Beans Gnome Club exclusive for the year 2022. So I guess that means if you joined Jimmy Beans Gnome Club, you can knit it. If you didn't, then you're out of luck. Probably it will be available later at some point. But anyway, Sarah Shira, I think, if she's the woman I'm thinking of, has a lot of gnome patterns, and they're so cute. If you just went into Ravelry and typed in gnomes, they have some really, really cute ones. I also picked, after that, after the $25 pattern and the pattern that I could like but not knit, I was done with Ravelry. I was like moving right along. So I went over to Etsy and I found Summer Lee's shop. I took a picture of it. I didn't write down the name of the shop, but I will link it below or put it on the screen or something. She has really cute pictures. She mainly does socks, and her socks are just so cute, and her pictures are so cute, and she has so many. But she has patterns on Etsy, and they range between $5 and looks like $6.50 based on the ones that I have in my picture here. But they're just really pretty. Her pictures are really pretty. I would definitely knit those if I could. But that's why it's a knitting fantasy, because we can't always knit it, but we can wish that we could. Okay, the next segment is kind of a bummer because I do not have a so here's what happened. Wah, wah. I had a bunch, and then I did a podcast every week. That is really the hard part of the weekly podcast, is that you do go through the stories really quickly. I've shared all the ones that were sent to me. They were all so good. But if you would like to keep this segment going, it is a favorite amongst a lot of the watchers. So if you would like to keep this segment going, send me your knitting story. You can type it out and I will read it for you. You can do an audio file. You can just, have someone hold your iPhone and take a video of you, or you can just prop it up on something like a couple of books and turn it around so that you can see yourself. So you're not like, like when I was using my iPad and I was like, so anyway, like I was like the 80-year-old grandma trying to take a selfie. Don't do that, but, or do, it'd be adorable. But send in your knitting story. All knitting stories are welcome. Funny, heartwarming, sweet, nice, sad, but still sweet, anything. It would be great. I would love to hear it. The whole audience would love to hear it. This is our oral tradition. We've got to keep it going. So anyway, thank you so much for joining me. Next week, I will be reviewing Noragon's Twisted Stitch source book. This is the third Noragon book that I have purchased, and I think it's my favorite. She just doesn't write bad books. Like, everything she does is amazing. I want to be her best friend. She probably lives in some faraway place. I don't know where she lives, but I have a dream of me and her and Isabel Kramer hanging out and just knitting. Gosh, I would learn so much. Anyway, all right, love you guys. See you next time. Bye.